Rebecca or Stephanie, whoever, you can start letting people in. We'll be live now.
Done.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome.
Good afternoon.
We're doing that favorite part of the program where we let everybody know that we record to YouTube as well. Take your video down if you do not want to appear on the live stream. And it's a new year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. We're about a week into it. And so this is our inaugural how-to hands-on of 2026. And I do want to talk folks through how this year might be a little different than what folks are used to in the past. But I might give folks a couple more minutes to trickle on in before we jump into the main content. So folks are continuing to hop on. Yeah, Julie, you got your hand up. How's it going?
Well, a little rocky here in Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. I've been watching the news. I cut out earlier from this morning because I've been going to the local DFL meeting. The chair has a meeting 15 minutes every day, which I've been trying to tap in. And at the tail end, they had just gotten the word. So that's how I found out what, there was things happening. And then as I continued to listen to the news, I realized that the young woman, I believe she's 37, was, I'm going to say murdered. I since have gone on, I'm not going on X very often now, but I did go on there because I knew Noam's statement was on there. Complete lies, completely. She doesn't even have all the information as much as the locals have here, but she put out a blanket domestic terrorist statement against this person. And then in that process, I found there's a site called Republicans Against Trump, and they have a video of it on there. Now, I don't know, as we all know, we don't know what we can trust, what we can't trust, so I'm not going to pass it around yet. But I do have a technical question later on pertaining to sharing of things out of X, out of Facebook, and things of that nature. So I'll hold that question for later, but I just kind of wanted to give everybody an update. The very sad news here in Minnesota. It's not good. I'm very sad. Thanks for letting me speak.
Yeah, thanks for the update, Julie. It really is disturbing to see random violence like this and followed by misinformation and effectively lies from the administration, because it's absolutely too soon for anyone to have come to a conclusion about terrorism or not. Obviously, I think we all have our beliefs about, based on some of us have seen videos, and it from the video content, it appears that she wasn't doing anything wrong, but the responsible thing from leadership would have been to withhold making any statements other than this is an ongoing investigation and we will pursue the truth. That's my sense of the situation. So Thank you, Julie. You're absolutely right to bring it up. It is breaking news, and it is heartbreaking.
They will have plenty of video because, in fact, this young woman was there as a constitutional observer, and there were many people around there taking video, and from what I saw, she was basically just trying to get out of there, and that's it. And so anyway, I'm not going to say any more. I'm just going to withhold any further remarks. But yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. Bruce, anything to add before we get to our core agenda today?
I think you've said it all, but the administration has no business calling it domestic terrorism at this point. That's a terrible way to react. They got to investigate it first.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. Hopefully, we're able to, take a pause from the news that's happening out in the world and turn our attentions and focus on our own activism and what we can do to make the world a better place. And so that's why we're here today. Before we jump into the content, I do see some familiar faces from previous how-to hands-on meetings that happened in 2025. And I did want to just kind of give a bit of an update about how these how-to hands-on sessions will change a little bit in the new year. In the past, we have spent a lot of time getting folks up to speed on certain technology platforms. We've talked about Zoom, we've talked about AI, Discord, Signal, like kind of a lot of stuff, right? And we will continue to share information about technologies, but the focus of these meetings is going to pivot a little bit in 2026. So we want to make sure that the application of those technology platforms is more clear. So previously we talked about, okay, this is how you use Signal, like these are the buttons that you push to get signed up. This is how you send a message. And that's helpful information, but it may not have always been clear. How does that have anything to do with activism? And so we're going to try in 2026 to come at it from the other direction. We as activists have certain actions or goals or things that we want to get done. How do we come at it from that goal-oriented perspective and think about what are the concrete steps and pieces of technology that I can use to achieve an outcome? And I have a couple of examples, like how do I plan a protest? How do I, if I'm Constance, how do I effectively write a press release and get it disseminated? What kind of technologies does she need to be aware of and use to make that happen? How do I disseminate a letter to the editor? How do I hold a Zoom meeting of my own with my local Indivisible group? So we're approaching it more from an activist lens rather than a generic sort of introduction to technology.
Yeah, I mean, it's not is tech cool, it is how does tech empower me to be more effective in my activism activities. So I think that the idea of looking at those from I want to have a meeting. What would the steps and the enabling technologies be? Should make for a decent series. So thank you.
Exactly. To start off the year, we've kind of termed or coined a phrase, digital detox. So this is a way to start the year with, kind of good, solid, I'm going to say hygiene, but like good habits about, how to keep ourselves safe and secure when we're using technology. So that's what today's session is about. And we're going to start at some fairly introductory practices. And then as the month progresses, we're probably going to get more advanced topics. And then in February, we'll have probably a different theme or a different kind of project that we're overall working on, like Constance's press release. Like we would work throughout February and talk through the various steps of that. So you can think of each month as a set of sessions working on a goal. Everybody kind of following the new sort of vision.
So in the example of Constance's press release, that might include some discussion about Google Docs. I mean, thinking about how we would put this together, just if folks can't, like, maybe I don't need to say this, but it's like, what might that mean? Well, we would do some Google Docs training during that. We would do some how you post to different sites kind of training. And I'm sure you don't use Google Docs, Candace, but as a
Constance.
word processor, Constance, I am so sorry. Jesus God, I apologize. Thank you. Anyway, I go on too long. Thank you.
Okay, so that was sort of a caveat or preamble. So we'll go ahead and jump into what you actually signed up for today, which is digital security or digital detox. So let me get this in presentation mode.
Rebecca's using a new tool.
I'm trying new stuff, guys.
Only way you learn.
Yeah, so this was really interesting. This is Canva, Canva. I had written an outline of topics that I wanted to talk about today, and I plugged it into Canva's AI. It's kind of like Chat GPT. I just plopped the outline in there, and this presentation is what it spit out. So I made a couple of minor tweaks yesterday, but this entire presentation probably took a half hour to put together once I had the outline. So pretty cool.
So for those of us who are daunted by making beautiful presentations like you're saying, try Canva. I'll be much better at
Canva,
it.
and
Okay.
it's free.
I know,
So
I'm on it. I just have been daunted by it because it scared
it's
me.
cool. It's
Okay.
cool.
I have courage now.
All right, awesome. Okay, so today, again, we're talking about digital security, and that may sound kind of like a scary topic, or like, oh, this is all fancy stuff that only advanced, technologically savvy folks can do. But really, there are just some pretty simple practices that you can do to reduce your risk. And we'll go through those today. Steph and I were talking earlier, and really our goal is to make sure that if there are bad actors out there that are trying to, get your credit card information or break into some of your online accounts or start using your Netflix account for free or whatever they're out there to do. We want to make it just a little bit hard for them. So if you are not the lowest hanging fruit, they may just pass on to the next person. So today's session is about what is the best, easiest ways to
Remove yourself as a target.
exactly. Steph and I are gonna like finish each other's sentences.
There's going to
We're
be a
like,
little bit of that because this is our first time through. So I think there's going to be a bit of that. So I hope everybody's good with it. But yes, I mean, in this kind of a context, everybody's got a different thing that they use in order to compute. So what Rebecca put together for us is what what the tangible things are you do, not necessarily specific as we go through. So we're going to go high and then we're going to go to how to at the end. So if we can get through some ideas. If you have questions, please do raise your hand. This is not a lecture, just topical to what we're discussing, please.
yeah. And if you do have questions that you don't want to ask or interrupt to ask in real time, you can plop them in the chat and we will, collect them and have a discussion. So either one. Okay, so a couple of simple habits would be around recognizing phishing attempts. We'll talk about that, and also ensuring password strength. So let's dig a little bit deeper into this. Yeah, I kind of mentioned it's not all about like building a moat around your house and hiring 10 guard dogs. It's just taking a couple good practices, making these habits for yourself, and it'll take us from being the lowest hanging fruit to just a little bit harder. Okay, so first off, we can talk about passwords and account access. Password reuse. So if you use the same password at Netflix and the same password at your bank, that's the number one reason that accounts get taken over. So good advice is use a unique password for each site. Now, I know that sounds hard. You're like, well, I only have so many dogs that I can like make a password, or like I only have so many middle names, or whatever. So one thing that you could do, so here's an example of a good password. You want your password to be a mix of uppercase, lowercase, some numbers, and maybe a special character or two. So this, obviously I'm, close to Chicago, so I'm going to use a Bulls example. MJ Bulls number 23. His jersey was, Michael Jordan's number was 23. A better example would be Netflix _ Michael Jordan number 23. And the reason that's better is because this can be your Netflix specific password. And the longer the password is, the harder it is to crack. Yeah, Charles, do you have a question? Oh, you're on mute.
Still on mute.
You see the thing across your screen saying unmute somewhere?
Or okay. Yes. I not necessarily a question. I had a suggestion. I use all unique passwords, but what I do is I have it on a I have it on a USB stick.
Why?
And and it's on a password that I can remember. And all the all the passwords are on a spreadsheet. So that's what I do.
USB password manager.
Mm-hmm.
That's better than my password manager, which is in my head and
Oh my God.
not not super, well, I'll say it's not infallible.
Yeah, Rebecca and I had a little conversation about this. For your very point, Charles, I happen to use a password manager
Mhm.
because, first of all, I can't generate them and it's just easy, and then they're just there for me.
Mhm.
As a result, I have, 24 character passwords with all kinds of stuff in them. However, I only have to remember one password to get into my password manager. So that's you are the quintessential ahead of the game password manager. You've got your USB key, you've got it encrypted, and you've got your password on your drive. So you know what? I've got one of those, but it's in my safety deposit box. Good for you.
Yeah, nice job. Nobody's breaking into Charles's Netflix.
Amen.
Okay,
Thanks, Charles.
sorry to interrupt.
No problem. Constance, you
Yeah,
unmute.
yeah, I've got it. So I have sort of a hybrid approach to being unique and consistent. For whatever I'm trying to, for example, my dog's name is Tommy. So if I'm trying to do a Chase bank password, well, maybe something else.
Yeah. Hey, Constance,
Right.
remember this is being
Yes,
recorded
exactly,
and on
exactly.
the internet.
All right,
Please don't offer too many suggestions as to how to brute force your password.
Right, right. So I'm going to say Campbell Soup password.
There you
Let's
go.
say I want to get into the Campbell Soup site. So my password would be, just so I can remember it, Campbell Soup, my dog's name, and the first three letters of my home address.
There you go.
And I do that for every single one. So I have the churches, and Our Lady of the Wayside Church, my dog's name, the first three number. Is that a good way of doing it, or by virtue of the fact that I am repeating some of the same
That you're
elements, is that problematic?
Well, I think the less that's repeated across these multiple platforms, the better.
Yeah,
But we are human and our memories are limited.
right,
So I do like having the different prefix that tells you which website you're on. That's
right,
also really handy if you start getting like spam from each
right,
one,
right.
like to sign up with, oh, I don't know, maybe that's a bad example, but um,
Heck, I can't remember what passwords are when I go to look at them. I would at least have an idea where or what that was for when I went to look for it.
Right.
My first thought, Constance, just so you know, is that, well, great, if you give me that list, then not only will I know your passwords, I'll know where to go use them.
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
That was my first thought.
Yeah.
However, I don't know where you keep those.
I keep them on my phone, just on my phone, not
Rebecca, you go ahead.
oh God. Oh God.
well, so I'm kind of there with Constance. So Stephanie's gonna be the like, you know how there's like a good cop and a bad cop? Like I'm gonna be the bad cop in terms of like I don't do any of this stuff because I'm just terrible at digital security. Um, so I'm kind of like I've got a couple of passwords, maybe like 4 or 5 that are in rotation, and I don't do so it's like a do as I say, not as I do thing.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
Now,
you say
for
don't do it, but you think it's a good idea, actually, kind of, right?
Well, I like the idea of having it's a unique password for each
Yeah.
website in that it has the prefix that changes.
Right.
But if it's the same ending to every
Mm-hmm.
password, then that's going to be a little bit less effective.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I was thinking more about the writing them down and keeping them on your phone so that you could use them
Oh,
part, Rebecca. That was where I
yeah.
was kind of having a moment. So maybe
Eh,
we should talk to that.
Yeah.
they're not on iCloud, they're on my phone. So what is the problem with that?
Somebody finds your phone and is able to unlock it, then they have access to all your stuff.
Right. if I lose my phone, right?
Constance, since I've known you, you've lost your phone.
But they've always been in the seat cushions and stuff.
That's
But
true. That's true.
I'm so
but I
glad
do have a tendency to misplace my phone. Let's put it that way.
I'm so
So
glad you're the good cop. If it's okay, Constance, let's move on and see what Elizabeth has to say,
yes,
because
go ahead.
you're
Go
just
ahead.
going to have to make some personal decisions on
Yeah,
that one.
right. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm a kind of old fashioned with my passwords, and I'll show you what I have here. It's a
Uh-oh.
it's a notebook, and I put A through Z. I don't know how I can. Oh, here we go. A through Z at the top, and then depending what website or place I'm at, I just flip. Let's say it's E something. Flip it over, and each one is unique in all ways. But I have to make sure I don't lose this.
So you're your own cryptographer in what you're accomplishing, is what you're telling me.
Oh, do you think?
Oh, for sure. That is cryptographic level work you got going on there.
But what happens if you lose it?
That's the thing. I just can't. I can't
Okay.
Okay,
I
good
should make a
plan.
backup copy, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
And stick
fully
it in like a
support.
little fireproof safe thing.
Yeah, I need a big, heavy safe so no one can take it out of here.
Yeah.
Get a safe. I'll put that on my list. I don't know when it'll happen. Thanks, guys.
Yep. I think Julie's next.
I think so.
Also, before we go on, I just want to make a plug for password managers instead of having to get a whole safe. There are apps out there that will manage your passwords. And you'll have number one.
There are pay services and there are free services, or services that are built into operating systems now. So I am a password manager person. Rebecca isn't. We're giving you compare and contrast on two views of the world. So we're in the same camp, Julie.
Oh, okay. I kind of tried that password manager, and I'm not quite there and trusting it. And it's like I want to know, I want to know what it's doing.
Do
And
you
so
go to the bank every day to visit your money?
No, well, no, but I check online.
That's fine. You can do that.
Yeah.
It's the similar metaphor. If you don't go check on your
Yeah.
money.
So I am also old school. I actually have a little mini password book, and it's kind of cryptid. I don't have it written out, and I do also keep them in my notes, which has a lock on it. It has an extra password on my notes. But yeah, I do. My son-in-law was kind of making fun of me when I was looking up my password one day for something, and I actually went and got out my little book. He goes, "Oh, you actually have a password book?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." So anyway, I do keep it in a lockbox. I do. So
Good.
I just wanted to share. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for everyone who has shared all of their password experiences and their password uses. I think we've done a great job of having some examples there. Robin, if you have a question about passwords, not generally, but something specific to what we've spoken about, please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I keep my there's a app right there.
Yeah.
So all my passcodes are stored there, and then you just look it up. But sometime when I change it and I haven't deleted the previous one, then I get in trouble and I don't remember.
So, Robin, I think you're talking about like the iCloud keychain or Google Password Manager. It's something that's like in the internet browser or that's sort of part of the software on your phone or on your iPad. Those are examples of password managers. There are a couple other ones. I think, Stephanie, you said 1Password?
Last, L-A-S-T.
last
PASS, LastPass is what I use.
LastPass. Dr. Chris put in the a link to some other password manager apps. So yeah, feel free to give some of those a whirl. Maybe look at reviews or things like that. Obviously, I am not going to be your expert because I don't use them, but probably should. A couple other notes about passwords. One thing is about passcodes on your phone, like you know how you can do number, you got to put in a PIN or something like that. So some phones these days, the fancy ones, I guess not so fancy, but you can have either like a fingerprint recognition that opens your phone or facial recognition to open your phone. I will say that
No
there's,
bueno.
yeah, I would encourage you to use an actual numerical password from a legal protection standpoint. And the reason I say that is because there have been legal cases where police are required to get a warrant to get you to put your PIN in, your number PIN in. They don't need a warrant to hold the phone up to your face or to use your fingerprint to open your phone. So if you have any concerns about stuff that's on your phone and want to make it, like I said, just a little bit harder for folks, or in this case police, to get in there, use the number PIN and turn off your biometric stuff.
I mean, I just know somebody's got me pinned to the ground. They're not going to get my phone by pointing it at my face while I spit at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think I got that like really worked out for myself? What do you think?
Okay, so we've talked about password managers. Final note on kind of account access sort of thing. So you may have heard of something called two-factor authentication, 2FA, or multi-factor authentication, MFA. So essentially, this is just adding another layer on top of your password. It's you try and sign in, and then it dings another way to get in touch with you. Like it's when you sign in and it says, oh, we're going to send a code to your phone via text and put in this code. That's just making sure that both of those layers or both of those things are actually reaching you and not someone that's trying to access your account in a non-authorized manner.
So, for example, if your password was compromised and you had multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication enabled, someone could not access your account unless they also physically also had access to receive the code on your phone number. It is a second device that makes sure that you are you, that you have said is me already. I have said I am this phone number. Okay, tell me you really are by giving me this code. It's your second layer of protection against a password breach. Thank you, Rebecca. That sounded like I was feeding peas.
You did it. It made sense to me. I'm there with you. And you got a thumbs up from Julie. So
Okay.
I think we're trucking along. Charles, you've got your hand up?
Yes. I was going to say that if they get a warrant, you could always just forget your password.
Well,
Unfortunately, that means that you can't use it again.
That has happened to me in my LastPass authenticator when I moved and did not use it for a while. And boy, was I in trouble getting it back. Fortunately, I use the security codes. So in my case, I have like a trusted third friend I can use. but it's not easy. In your case, I don't think there's a friend, Charles.
Mhm.
Yo, Adrian.
Well, forget your password, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Forget your password.
Hmm.
They can't prove that you didn't.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So, some questions are coming up in the chat, such as, aren't your biometrics hackable? I think anything is hackable. So, again, just like with all tech, there are ways around it. If somebody really wants to hack into your systems, your Wi Fi, almost anything, they can if they really want to, and their knowledge and skills are superior to yours. So we're really just talking about adding layers of protection, and I realize it's annoying, but I think, for the security, people are going to have to put up with a little bit of irritation for a pretty large benefit spread evenly over the population. Like if everybody upgrades their security and knowledge, then it's just going to make it so much harder.
I absolutely agree. The way I think about it, and I didn't make this up, is the Swiss cheese approach. So if you think about like you cut a block of Swiss cheese and there's holes in it, but if you have layers of Swiss cheese and each one has a hole in it, but the holes don't line up, it's blocked. So you kind of the layers are helping protect you.
Good analogy.
Yeah, I don't think the way I said it made any sense, but we'll just keep moving.
If you
Okay.
vary where your holes are, then you don't have as many permutations you can get through before you hit another floor. That's what I heard you say.
Okay, good. All right, perfect. All right. Okay, so that was kind of the segment on passwords and account access and things of that nature. Now we're going to talk about phishing. So phishing with a PH. This
Adrian,
is,
hey, just one sec. Did you have
yeah.
something that we needed to do before we kept going, Adrian?
Oop.
No, so
All
sorry.
right, no problem. I just want to make sure we weren't finishing out something on passwords. Sorry, Rebecca.
No problem. Linda raised her hand. Yeah, raised.
Yes, I'm sorry. I wanted to just say something about Chase Bank. It has now gone to a voice access to your account, and I refuse to use it. And the reason I refuse to use it is that my mother used it some time ago with Chase. And so someone, when she became ill, they pretended to be her and actually accessed her account and almost drained it before I could get to the bank to alert them that she was now in a coma and there was no way that she was giving them that authorization. So, just to let you know, that's what Chase Bank has gone to recently again.
Interesting. I wonder if there's a way for each person to opt out of, certain.
You can stay on the line. It doesn't tell you that, but if you stay on the line long enough, then it will say, okay, you can digitally access by pressing 1. But it doesn't really say that initially. It asks you to put in your address and then it access. So it asks you, to speak your address.
Yeah. I think that is it sounds like a major misstep for Chase Bank in terms of security based on the anecdote that you've shared, but also just the prevalence of how easy it is to do fakes. If you have a recording of somebody and you have their address, you can plug it in. There's websites where you can go to just make a deep fake of somebody saying their address and just play it on the phone. Yeah. Thanks for pointing
was
out
a
that vulnerability.
really good
You're
call
welcome.
out, Linda, because that is thinking about using voice reco for that sort of the voice recognition patterning for that kind of application. I have encountered it personally, and I did not participate for exactly all of the reasons. Plus, my voice changes. So It fits in biometrics for me. I don't do it.
Mm. Yeah, Susan, you're next.
Yeah, well, I think you probably just might have answered what I was going to ask. I was worried that, you have your voice on an answering machine or a version of an answering machine. Can't anyone just record that and then from that, make a fake voice that's yours and then call up places like banks? If you have voice recognition registered with them, how much work does it take to fake your voice? I mean, there's also like any one of us could sit here recording each other's voice during video meetings and stuff. Yeah, and think of all the different meetings you go to and such. How easy is it to fake that? Is this voice recognition safe that the banks and other institutions are using?
Yeah, I have not, this will shock you. I have not engaged in deepfake technology. So I don't know how much effort it takes to, well, I imagine that you would need a fair amount of samples of someone's voice in order for the software to be able to reproduce it, saying whatever it needs to say in order to gain access. But you're absolutely right. Like there are a lot of videos of me talking at great length on YouTube that if someone wanted to download that and make use of those and gain access using my voice, that would be a real vulnerability. So I think in terms of protecting ourselves, probably a good idea to opt out of those voice recognition settings.
Do you know if it can happen even just by, we all have, well, not all of us, but many of us have voice greetings on our cell phones?
I wouldn't think that would, I
in.
wouldn't think that would be a large enough sample, Susan, in
Okay.
order to generate what you're describing. The kind of volume of spoken word that you need from someone in order to make them sound natural is pretty high.
Okay, that feels better then. I
Yeah,
was thinking of asking Google to replace my greeting on my answering machine, but
Well, that said, I don't have an answering machine greeting either, but I don't do that because I think it's a risk to me from a voice perspective. So I just don't want people to know who I am.
Also, in terms of each person's individual risk, I don't view myself as a particularly juicy target of people trying to get my data. I don't have that much money. So I guess I'm probably less worried than I should be, and other people are more worried than they should be. But again, we're just talking about taking simple steps to make ourselves not the lowest hanging fruit. I know I keep coming back to that. Again, we're just trying to put a couple of layers of security in there, and then as we go, we can talk more sophisticated layers of protection.
But even if you're not a low-hanging fruit now, let's say 20 years from now, you're ailing and you hire in-home help or something like that, and they come in and they have all these videos from you that are still on YouTube 20 years from now. They could grab your voice and get your personal information, maybe talk to your bank. I mean, then obviously all our systems will be a little bit different, but this whole thing is a little bit scary the more I think about it. And 20 years from now, anyway, that you might have a
It
different
is
amount of money in your
it
bank
is
account.
absolutely a scary thing to try and envision what to protect against in the future. Because we can't envision. 20 years ago, I couldn't have envisioned where I would think we are now.
Yeah.
I try and draw it a little more into, practically speaking, what can I do that I need to protect around today? I'm always future looking, but it doesn't matter that I would have a security plan if I failed to lock my front door. The stuff we're talking about today is like, if you don't want somebody to walk in, lock your front door.
Got you.
And then we'll get on to the higher level stuff, because your questions are totally valid. And they are really, I don't say philosophical, because they have practical implications. I just don't know how I would safeguard against a future worry about my voice use yet. But we'll think on it.
Okay. Robin, do you have a quick comment? Just for the sake of time, I do want to move to.
Sure, yeah. Since you're on this topic here, I just got a letter yesterday from one of my, I guess you probably know, where they keep all your credit scores. But this company will manage it called, I can't pronounce, ASCN. SION. Okay, they sent me a letter, and it said that it's a notice of data breach. Okay, they're saying that my personal information, and it happened like 9 months ago, but I'm getting the letter now. They said they put they stole my personal information. They've turned all my like a name, social security, and all that. Okay, I didn't get hurt anyway where they stole my bank account or whatever, but they are recommending, okay, they recommending that I should buy protect my identity. So, and they're saying they're offering complimentary so I have to
Hey,
I
hey,
probably have
Robin.
to pay for
Hey,
it. So
Robin.
what is that?
Yeah, exactly. If anybody is sending you a security breach letter in which they're suggesting they sell you something, that's the key component to consider. They're trying to sell you something.
Oh, okay, I
So
got
you
it.
should probably get in touch with the 3 credit agencies, and
Okay.
you can put a hold on any credit checks, and you can enroll for credit monitoring for free. But yeah, let's see what other security measures we can all take as a general group.
Okay,
And
sounds good.
moving forward, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good example. So just to go over some basics, the concept of phishing is that, if you have all of your other safety protocols and you've got great security, like you've got all your unique passwords, maybe you have like a VPN, you're protected out the wazoo, you're still vulnerable because phishing scams make you create your own gap in your security out of a sense of urgency or fear. Like something bad is going to happen if I don't take action or if I don't give somebody my password to fix the situation. So we want to bring these tactics to your attention so that you can be on the lookout and not fall for them. They used to be really common with like the Nigerian prince trying to get your bank account information and things like that. And they used to be very obvious, and they've gotten a little bit more sophisticated, but we do have some kind of tips to look out for, just things to maybe question, slow down, think about it before you act. It may very well be a legitimate thing, but just if you get something unexpected that has unexpected links, or it's from somebody that you don't know, or even if it is from somebody that you know, make sure that it's coming from their email address that they're used to getting uh, stuff from them. You can hover over links. So you put your cursor over the link and just wait, often a little text bubble will appear that will show you the URL, the like HTTP address that it's going to take you to. And if that's not a link that looks familiar, I recommend that you, instead of clicking that link, you can pull up a website. Like if it's your bank saying, oh, your account has been hacked, don't click the link in the email. Separately, go log into your bank account, either on your phone or in an internet browser, and go check separately. So you can verify what's going on without interacting with that communication. Last thing is, legitimate companies are not going to reach out to you and ask for your password. They're just not. They don't need it. So if somebody is doing that and saying like, remember to send me your password so that we can reset it, that's not how you do it. So you don't have to pay attention to those. You can delete them. Any questions on phishing? I think that was main. Yeah.
I think we'll talk about it a bit when we start dissecting some URLs, because I think that'll make it clear what you were just talking about.
Okay, cool. I'm just looking at my notes. Oh, one thing that I want to call out is sometimes so if you're expecting an email from, I'm gonna say Amazon. I know we're sort of boycotting them. We're boycotting them. But if you are expecting to see an email from Amazon, like it would be amazon.com, not amazon.org, or maybe they would say ANNAZON if it were like a phishing attempt. So they're trying to make it look as legitimate as possible, but they're being tricky about it. So again, just if you read an email and it makes you want to panic because you're going to lose account access or whatever, slow down, double check things, verify it separately, and never send anybody your password. Those are the takeaways.
Really, really good summation of that, Rebecca, because it's not easy subject. It's like, and it's getting harder every day to figure out what a phishing scam might look like. They come to us on our phones via text now, unknown numbers. So they're out there. If we help them, the bad actors will absolutely take our stuff.
Yeah.
And they will do it by sending out 20 million emails, and 5 of us will click on the fish.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Susan, go ahead.
Can you suggest what to do when you get what looks like phishing texts? I started getting a host of them about a week ago, and at first just sent back texts saying stop. But I think what the group did was just then said, okay, she has a valid number here, and continued sending me texts from other numbers. And they've probably sent me texts from 20 numbers now and or called. And I don't know what to do, whether to just never say stop because it just confirms that this is a valid cell phone number that they reached, or whether to keep saying stop because I'm tired of being harassed by
what do you do, Rebecca?
Oh, can I just mention, I posted a pretty long list of things the FBI and is it the CFC, maybe it's CTC, have links where you can report. So that's one thing, and I realize that that's frustrating. It may take a long time for them to investigate.
Yeah, I
reported on that.
Yeah, I like the list of resources that Adrian put out there. I think stop is more effective with legitimate companies.
Mhm.
Or so if, you know, I don't know who texts you. If the Democrats are texting you to do fundraising and you're like, oh my God, I've gotten 40 texts from you guys today, cut it out, stop, then maybe they'll stop. But if it's a true bad actor that's trying to scam you and all of that, I just delete them. Don't
Okay.
even interact with them.
That's what I do.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm a good cop for this one.
You're the good cop. I'm the bad cop. I just delete everything. You're all being nice to them. I'm like, delete, report spam, delete, report spam.
Oh
Boom.
yeah, the report spam. That's a good one.
Yes, gone.
Constance.
Yeah, I put this in the chat, not very artfully, but I have had readers in my Substack postings from China, quite a few at one point, and Russia. Should I worry about them? And no, they're no longer there. Should I continue to worry about them?
My belief is that that is identified based on their IP or their internet address.
Mm-hmm.
And I would, not being able to look at it, but thinking about that, think that there was good chance maybe somebody was using a VPN
Okay.
in order to make themselves from another location. Don't know
Oh.
why they would pick those countries,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I can establish my VPN in such a way that I can be in one of about 100 countries around the globe.
Why
So if,
would you want to do that?
well, sometimes I want to watch Manchester United football, and I can't unless I have a UK IP address.
I see.
That's a nice example
Mm-hmm.
that I can think of that I actually use it for. I used to actually travel internationally and want to get back to the US, so I did it the other way around. But the VPN may be providing the location that you're seeing, not necessarily the person's physical location, but I just wouldn't know how to answer that decisively.
What was funny because at first I had 25 readers from China, then it went down by about 10. And then and it kept going down until I no longer had readers from China, like the next time I looked.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm thinking Substack.
May have identified a bad port and a bad
Yeah,
actor, and they got rid of them
exactly.
too.
Exactly. I'm
That's
hoping
important.
that's the case. I'm hoping.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Charles.
Okay.
Yes. Fishing uses other medium too. I once received a letter, snail mail, from my bank purportedly, and they said they wanted to talk to me about that $4,000 purchase, and that was made to panic me into calling whatever number that was, and then but then I took a look at the letter. The logo looked authentic at first, but around the edges, it looked a bit amateurish, and so I threw that away. No,
We have been being fished, I think, forever. It's just how it is that we are being fished. So I agree with you.
but we're in the
Yeah.
golden age of fraud right now. So
Yep.
And if you were in that situation, you could call your bank
mhm.
using the number that you are comfortable with and that is on their website, their real website,
Mhm.
or in the yellow pages or whatever, kind of like
Yes.
old school version.
There's always a way to independently verify what you're being told. And if you can't, that is your first indicator something is way wrong if you cannot independently verify what you're being told.
Yep. Joe, it's good to see your face. What's up?
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
So I wanted to tell a little story, but actually Stephanie and has just told the punchline for the story about independently verifying. No, I'm very glad you said that. I'm a school business official, as many of you know, and my payroll department received an email that said from my superintendent of schools, had her name and actually had her social security number in it. And the email said, I've decided to change my direct deposit from XYZ Bank to ABC Bank. Please, effective immediately, put my direct deposit, my payroll, into such and such an account. And they named a new bank, a new account, etc. Thank God that my payroll department was sharp enough to realize, hey, the superintendent is down the hall. Let me just go
Seems a little weird. Yeah.
ask her if she really wants this to be done, because it just seems strange that it would come out of the blue. Thank God they did, because it was an attempt to redirect her paycheck to a scammer's bank account. So I just want to, I guess, emphasize what Rebecca and Stephanie are saying, that find a way to independently verify the information that's coming in. Do not respond to the email. Call the bank. Walk down the hall and speak to the colleague who supposedly sent you that email, to verify that it really came from them. Pick up the phone yourself and call. Don't rely on them calling you.
And don't reply to the email you received from them, because you're probably interacting with the person who's trying to fish you.
Exactly.
Great
And one
story.
thing is
Thank you.
that emails that have entire account numbers in them or entire social security numbers and not just the last two digits or something, those are probably always red flags for scams, because no one should ever be sending out their entire account number or entire social security number over unencrypted email.
Put it this way, if they did, that would definitely constitute a data breach.
Yeah.
Dr. Chris?
Yeah, I had one right after I became a precinct chairperson with Bexar County Dems. And this was a good one because I'm usually, I worked in security when I was with DOD, so I'm pretty mindful of scams, and we're trained on that all the time. But this was a good one. Basically, what they did is there was a thing where they go on various public websites, and of course, the Bexar County Dem website was public. They find out, they know who the chairperson is. Michelle is our chairperson. And they have a text sent to you, because your phone numbers were on the site too. A text sent to you saying, hey, Chris, this is Michelle. And it looks like her email. I think it was email. That's what it was. Anyway, but it's a slight misspelling of her email address. There was something in it that was a little bit off once I looked at it again. But on first glance, as I'm looking at it on my phone, it says, hey, I really need you to do me a favor. Can you go and buy these gift cards, so we can recognize our precinct, whatever. I'll pay you back, later. But I'm in a place where you don't call me because I'm in a meeting, blah, 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 blah. Well, anyway, what I did is I actually texted her back, because now that I think about it, it came in email saying, hey, Michelle, I got your message. And then that's when she let me know that had been a scam that was going around. Yeah, but it was a pretty good one. So anyway, just heads up.
Yeah, the infamous gift cards.
Oh.
If somebody's asking you to buy gift cards, just sit tight on it and check with the person,
The
verify.
thing that you highlighted that makes this happen so easily is how close whatever it was looked. Rebecca mentioned it when she was talking about Zon. It may have something, it's an .org instead of a .com.
Exactly.
It's one sort of letter off, and your
right.
I don't know about you, my eyes read what I want it to see sometimes. So if I think it's from Rebecca, I'm not going to check the spelling of her name.
Right, and just that level of detail. Like I want to get this to recognize our precinct volunteers, right? You know,
Yeah.
meaning she had context. She knew that Michelle was the whatever and that I was a chairperson. But what was odd about it is like, you know, I've just joined the organization. It's a little unusual for the chairperson to be contacting me, you know, asking me to buy gift cards for our volunteers. So anyway.
I'm wondering if they contacted everybody who was anywhere on a list in that spray on
Oh
the
no,
whole.
that's what she said that was going around all of Texas. Yes,
Okay.
they were. Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right. Awesome. Okay. So, got a couple more things. Software updates. Okay, folks. Now, I think there's probably two kinds of people. There's people that are like people that are okay with their inbox having 9,472 unread messages, and people that like to get to inbox 0. And so you like seeing that 0 on there. I think there's probably two kinds of software update people too, where you're like, yes, I want to have the latest software, do my auto updates. I want I want the latest version of everything. And then there's people that are like, yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. So I'm going to encourage you to be the one that has the latest software updates, because regular software updates, the ones that come out very frequently, a lot of those are for fixing vulnerabilities in your apps. Stuff that's not obvious to the eye. Like it's not going to affect your everyday when you're using the app. It's not going to change your experience, but it's often those updates are fixing security problems. So I do want to encourage you to either turn on your auto updates, like for apps on your phone, on your computer, or make it a practice. Like
Digital hygiene. Every Sunday morning, I update everything.
I
Something like
actually do
that.
it.
See?
I'm doing it when I brush my teeth. I've got my phone in one hand, and then I do my updates in the other hand. So it's like digital hygiene and like dental hygiene. You can be a little less crazy about it, but like, yeah, a weekly update is probably good.
And how often do you ultraviolet your phone so that you Sorry.
Oh my gosh, probably like 0 times.
Okay.
Again, I'm the don't do it.
In this
Do as I
case, you're
say, not
bad
as I
cop.
do.
I am amazed that I could be good cop somewhere, Rebecca. That is just not my shtick.
Yeah, yikes. You guys are finding out it's like way too much information about my life right now. So anyway, if there is an option to turn on automatic updates, then you never have to worry about it. It's just gonna do it. But I love going into the App Store, refreshing it and saying update all. I get a little dopamine blast by saying like, yes, I'm doing it while I brush my teeth. So that's the status of my brain health at the moment.
Does anyone not know what we are talking about when we say software updates? Just to get that out of the way. If anyone, there is no silly question. If we are just talking about something and you're going, I don't have a clue about software updates, speak now. We're going to keep going.
Okay, got a couple hands up. I can, if you guys want, I can share screen on my phone and show how to do
Yeah,
those updates.
I think we need to start there.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, let me stop sharing here.
Rebecca, can I say a word?
Sure.
On my phone, and normally I get alert. It shows me update and there's a red icon, like so. Then I know I have to update my phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I love having that little notification that says you need to do some updates. And I like to do that and have the number go away. It's like a checkbox thing for me.
For me,
Okay.
Rebecca, this is Linda. I want to know how not to lose any data doing the update, because sometimes I've lost some contact information or something after the update.
I only have one good answer to that, Rebecca, and that is make sure that you do a backup before you do the update. Because if anything goes wrong, your system as it was before you started will be preserved. Everything after that can go wrong for so many reasons. It's even scary to think about when you're updating the operating system. Bill had a great example. His hardware was somewhat deficient when he did an upgrade. And as a result, he lost all of his information initially because he couldn't do a successful backup. So let's start there and then we'll get specific as Rebecca goes through the screens on her phone.
Okay, so there is a significant lag. I don't know how we're going to get around that, but I have my app store. You can see it's that blue kind of A button, and right now it says 4. So that's what Robin was talking about with the updates. So right now I have notifications turned on where it's telling me that I need to download some updates to some apps. Your notifications may be different, so you may not get that notification. And we're not going to talk through notifications today. I just wanted to flag that for you. So if I click in there and you're going to see, so this is the default screen. It's going to advertise some apps to me. But if you see in the upper right-hand corner where I've got my little picture and there's a number 4, that's where you're going to click. And you can see it says down close to the bottom, available updates. Update all, and there's 4. So I can choose which apps I want to update. I could go one by one. Or if I'm like, yeah, let's clean them all up, I'm going to click that update all button. My other suggestion is I'm going to pull down and you can see that little twirly swirly star asterisk looking thing at the top. That means that it's refreshing the list. So if there's any new updates that have just been pushed out to the App Store, now they're going to show up in my list. So you can see that where it was 4 apps, now it's 6.
Oh boy.
So yeah, now I've got a couple more. So I'm going to go ahead and click update all, and that's going to keep my apps the most updated. So you can read what they are actually updating. It's probably not going to say, oh, we're fixing a major security vulnerability. It'll probably just say bug fixes, performance improvements. That's the standard language. But if you're ever looking for, the reasons why to update something, that's where they put their notes. Okay. The next thing that we wanted to talk about was app permissions. So if you've got a bunch of apps on your phone, like we all do, some of them have access to your location, some of them have access to your microphone and things like that. So I'm going to encourage everyone to every so often, and I'm kind of being vague about that, it's up to you how frequently you do this, but go and check out the permissions that are enabled for each app. So maybe you do it on a monthly basis. It's kind of up to you. Check what permissions each app has access to and make sure that that is appropriate. So does your banking app really need to know your location? I mean, if you're looking for ATMs, maybe, but maybe you can just turn off that location services. So the place where you can check that, at least on an iPhone, is in your settings. And I never know where anything is saved in the settings, so I always just search for stuff. So I think most of this is going to be under privacy and security. So if I scroll down, oops, there's a lag. While it catches up, Julie, yes, do you have a question? Oops, you remuted.
That was me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna. I just thought as long as you were in the phone and showing people things, I didn't know if we were going to talk about like the cookies, like how to get rid of your background stuff there, because I go and delete the what is it, the history and the cookies. But I don't know if we're going to get to that today, and what is the reasoning behind that. I've just been told to do it, but so I don't want to get off topic too much here, but I just thought as long as you're showing people things in the phone. So that's all I had to say.
Okay, yeah, if maybe somebody can take a note to talk through cookies and history and stuff like that, and when to save it and when it's better to cleanse it. Maybe that's a good topic that we can dive into next time. We are sort of developing a curriculum as we go. So maybe we talk next week, pros and cons of VPN, and we also need to talk about cookies and all the information that gets saved as we go along.
Great. I didn't mean to interrupt your flow there, but it was
No,
something
you're
that
good.
I still had on the tip of my tongue. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Julie. Okay, so we're in settings. We're going to go into privacy and security. And then, yeah, first thing on here, location services. So this is basically your phone knowing where you are in the world. So pinging off of cell towers and understanding your geographic location. So, I've got a bunch of apps on here, and you can see the majority of mine, I'm letting it know where I am if I have the app open. So that's what I'm comfortable with.
We're the same cop on that one, just so you know. That's exactly what I do.
Okay. There's I think that you can see for American Airlines, there is an option. It's going to catch up here in a second, but there is an option for it to know where I am always. Maybe if I'm one of those frequent flyers that I'm always in airports, or if I were a pilot, I would want it to know where I am at all times. But that's excessive for American Airlines to know where I am at all times. It's also going to drain my battery if I'm constantly trying to ping and do all the geolocation stuff. So I would say default is if you feel like it needs to know your location at all, keep it to while using the app. Or if it's something that you're you don't need to know where I am, you can change it to never. Some of mine you can see say never. Apparently I think that Domino's should not know where I am ever. So, okay.
The thing about it, Rebecca, is do you find it true that if you're using an app and you don't have a service turned on, that it tells you to go enable it so you won't be stopped? You'll just be told what to enable if you want to go use it.
Yeah, it will prompt you if you to go turn it on if you want to. The other was somebody going to say something?
No, all I was going to say, Rebecca, I apologize, is applications are always going to want everything they can possibly get from you because your data, your information, your location is valuable. I never want to give them any more than I have to use their service functionally. And that's the negotiation I'm constantly asking myself. So that's how I evaluate what to do.
I agree. The other setting that I would encourage folks to check is probably camera and microphone.
Amen.
So there are some apps that you're like, why would you ever need to be able to hear me? I'm sorry. I clicked microphone and here it comes. So you can see which ones that I have it enabled. Some of them, like if I'm going to leave a voice message for somebody, or I need to be able to give it voice instructions, then yeah, it needs to hear me. But I also don't want anything to just be able to listen all the time. I will say that the settings for microphone usage, it's like on or off. So I wish it were more like location services. So it's like it can only use the microphone while I'm using the app. So it's a little, I don't know enough about this to say whether it presents a security risk or not. But if you have concerns, I would say give it less access as a precaution. Anything to add?
No, we've got a couple of hands.
Okay.
Get to them when I mean, because you're like almost through this and then we can pick up hands.
Yeah. I
There you
think
go.
that's it for the
Show and
phone
tell.
demo. Yes. And now you've had enough looking at my personal phone and the mess that it is. So, okay, Constance, you have a question? Unmute.
Do not.
Okay, your hand is up. I'm going to put it
I
down.
know. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe.
So I wanted to give an example of when you might want to have location services on all the time. We have an app that we put on phones in schools, a panic button it's called, where if we know that there's an emergency, an active shooter in the building, etc., we push a panic button which calls the police. But in addition, if I have location services always on, they'll also know exactly where I am in the building.
Strong use.
Yeah, I think that if that is the purpose of the app is to know where you are, then yes, you're going to want to enable the location services. All right, folks, we've got 5 minutes. We did have some more content, but for the sake of time, I want to leave about 5 minutes for questions before we wrap it up for today.
Now no one has anything to say.
Yeah, Julie.
Quickly, okay, I'm looking at the camera and it looks like I have Zoom turned on, which I frequently use Zoom, so I have to have the camera on, obviously, right? Okay. And then also I have Signal. Is that cool, you think, to have signal with the phone, with the camera?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm not
if
sure. I don't use Signal that often, but I suppose I need the camera on. I don't
if
know.
you want to take pictures using your camera and like pictures of your dog or a grandbaby or whatever, and send them to folks in Signal, or if you were going to do a video chat or a video call with someone on Signal, you would need your camera enabled for that. If none of those
Okay.
are something that you would do, then you could turn your camera, you could disable the camera access.
Okay. Thanks for those examples. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, Robin. Unmute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I said it might be off the subject. It's on the storage, like Discord. This morning I was trying to post a video of Heather Cox. Yeah, it was, and it won't let me do it. It wanted me to buy more storage, pay more money, like $9.99 or $2.99. So I couldn't post it. I could do the message, but then there was the other girl who I said, I'm trying to do, and she actually, I think, posted, but that was something, it was not the right video that I was trying. So I wasn't, yeah, I can't do it on it. So it wants me to buy, I forgot the exact word, what they, it
Probably
comes.
Nitro.
Nitro.
Yeah,
Yes.
so yeah, this is a separate conversation
Yeah.
from
Okay.
our topic today.
Yeah, I did say I saw off the subject. I mean,
Yeah, so I would say I don't know.
Sometimes
In this case,
length of message can potentially cause that. So that's the only thing I've encountered that I personally have ever tried to do. But
yeah, if the video is on YouTube,
yeah,
I would
it
say
was.
get the short YouTube link and post the link to the YouTube, and that should be okay.
Okay.
If it's a link that's beyond a certain character limit, like it's 9,000 letters long in the link, then it's gonna
I
cut you
see.
off and
Okay.
not work. To your point, one of our topics next week is
yes.
going to be about making sure that when we're sharing links, that they are quote unquote clean links. And we'll talk more about what that means next week. But it's if you're sharing links to things, that you're not also sharing the tracking information that comes along with that. So we're going to teach you how to understand when you're looking at a link, what information is being tracked in there, and also how to get rid of it. And it's actually easier than you think. So that's a plug for next week, and I hope everybody will be able to join us for that topic, as well as VPN and cookies.
Yeah, we got big stuff coming up. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right, folks. Any last words? Any last questions? Thoughts? Brilliant ideas? Okay.
Thank you all
Silence
so
is
much.
golden. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next